How do Trump voters feel about the allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh? Well, Emma Vigeland, one of our reporters, went to a Trump rally in Springfield, Missouri to speak to the voters, and we're going to hear from them in just a minute. But before we do so, the conservative media has gone out of its way to smear the accusers, and there are two as of now. We have Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who initially had the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh groping her without her consent and allegedly attempting to rape her when they were both in high school. And then later, a Yale student who was a freshman at the time accuses Brett Kavanaugh of pulling his pants down and thrusting his penis toward her face. Now, Steve Crowder is a gross person. I mean, that's my bias against him, but you don't need to believe me. You can see for yourselves. Here's the way he covered the Brett Kavanaugh allegations and how he referred to Dr. Blasey Ford.
Still in the news, everyone's talking about the alleged attempted rape accusation from Dr. Christine Ford. By the way, no longer going to be calling her doctor.
Yeah,
Christine, it's such a Christy Ford, you're Dr. Christy. Let me just say this, of course, it's possible that the accusations here could be accurate.
Right.
And we're not saying that all accusations of attempted rape are false. You have to balance the scales of justice between, was there an attempted rape some 30-something years ago that someone doesn't know when it happened or where it happened and why he possibly stopped mid-rape, possibly drunk and passed out? Or is she a lying whore? We're going to present the evidence to you and you decide. And yes, by the way, I know you're saying just me, no one else in this room. I labeled her a lying whore without proof. Granted, she did the same, but with attempted rape. That's the purpose here. Rapist, whore.
Okay, so he called her a lying whore. And he also accused her of calling someone a rapist with no evidence. She did not call anyone a rapist. She accused attempted rape. Those were her allegations. But more importantly, there was evidence. There were notes where she had spoken to her therapist on 2 different occasions in 2012 regarding these allegations. And so there's that. There's also the fact that she took a lie detector test. That is considered evidence. But nonetheless, Steven Crowder, I mean, this is what you can expect from trash like him.
So I hear high-pitched voices are really funny. So congrats on that. So I'm not calling her a doctor anymore. Why?
What does that even mean?
No, it's a signal to his misogynistic viewers, never respect a woman. She's 51 years old, she's a professor, she's earned that respect, and she earned that degree. But we're taking that away from her because, come on, she accused a man of doing something wrong, and we of course know that that's unacceptable. So she's no longer a doctor. Okay, now she's Christy. Always, find a way to put women down one way or another. Then she says, isn't he merciful? He says, not all attempted rape allegations are false. Wow, well, thank you for conceding that. I really appreciate that. Now, of course, the overwhelming statistics on this is that most allegations in that field are overwhelmingly true, meaning that the great majority of the allegations, when you go to court, prove to be true. So if there are stats on it, and so the cases that are true greatly outweigh the ones that are false. So if you're gonna say anything at all, you would say, hey, you know what? It doesn't mean that every accusation is true, because some are not, but the overwhelming majority are, right? That would be factual. But instead, he turns it around. I'm not saying everyone who says rape is false, but come on, right? And
yeah, so by the way, so this signals to any woman who comes forward with or has been victimized by any type of sexual assault or rape, this signals to them, hey, don't come forward, because if you do, you're gonna be labeled as a lying whore. Right? He has no evidence that she's lying. He has no reason to think that she's lying. And by the way, why is she a whore? How is she a whore? Even if you don't believe the allegations, what makes her a whore?
Because we are going to denigrate and try to humiliate every woman, and my audience is going to get off on that, is what he thinks. And so, yeah, this will be so much fun. They'll get a kick out of it. So, look, whether you think there's any evidence to back up Kavanaugh or Dr. Blasey, it's certainly not a question that I think is 100% settled either way. And that's why we want an FBI investigation to find out more. That's why we want the hearings, et cetera. But to conclude beyond a shadow of a doubt that she is not telling the truth and that there's nothing to back her up is a weird conclusion, because she certainly genuinely believes it. Maybe they think, no, it's everything's politics, everything's a conspiracy, everything. The fact that she's a 51-year-old professor, greatly respected in those circles, it's all a conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy, right? But look, you got your audience who doesn't believe in facts, so they're probably willing to believe anything you say. But to say that there is no evidence on either side, like for example, on Kavanaugh's side, there's the fact that it was 35, 36 years ago. There's the Mike Judge who's in the room saying it didn't happen. So he has some facts on his side. She has a lot of facts on her side, including the therapist notes. And we've done, a lot of stories about all the different evidence on her side and how credible she is and how she told her husband and she told the therapist.
The lie detector test.
The lie detector test, and it goes on and on. So if you were to say, hey, I weighed all those, but I believe Kavanaugh, and so if I think that she might be making it up and I find that deeply disturbing, okay, I wouldn't agree with your conclusion, but okay, that's your opinion.
At least you're not being a dick about it, right? Like at least you're being, I don't know about reasonable, but at least, you're coming at it from, this is what I'm inclined to believe, but I would like an FBI investigation.
Or
right?
You don't want one because you want him in the court by hook or by crook, whether he did it or he didn't do it. Okay, but when you say, okay, now based on no evidence at all, I'm going to then turn around and call her a lying whore, the point of that appears to be that, hey, we will try to destroy her. And
totally.
And so, and as long as I put that propaganda out there, right or wrong, reasonable or unreasonable, it doesn't matter, at least I did some damage to her. And then he will turn around and go, I don't know why anybody calls me misogynistic. Oh my God, these liberals, they're so touchy. You just call someone a lying whore and all of a sudden they get all emotional and stuff. Nobody's getting emotional, Stephen. And by the way, when we do these videos, then they need their safe space.
Yes, I know. He's gonna whine and cry.
No
like
one
a little
cries.
Bitch.
No one cries more than a conservative.
Totally.
So you just call him a bitch, right?
He is. That's what he is. All he ever does is whine and cry about everything. Oh my God, people don't like me. Oh, people are complaining about me. And then he goes off and he calls people a lying whore, right? Calls people who are accusing someone of sexually assaulting them lying whores, right? And we're not supposed to ever respond to that.
And I know, and if you do, then they need their safe space and they say, oh my God, I'm melting, I'm a special snowflake. I can't believe Anna Kasparian was mean to me. Women aren't allowed to be mean to me, they've been mean to me my whole life. Go ahead and cry, Stephen, cry all day long. And we know exactly what you're about. And at least thank you for giving us clarity on how you feel about her and women in general. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.